Do you guys remember Chinagate? I was in college back then. Big scandal in the 90s when the Clinton re-election campaign got caught taking dirty money from the Chinese that were tied to spies. China funneled millions through plants they had in Washington. Guys who were lobbying on behalf of the Communist Party to sway Clinton and the Democrats on trade and tech. But the Clintons weren't the only Democrats compromised by the Chinese. Senator Dianne Feinstein actually had a Chinese spy on her payroll. She paid him to drive her all around Washington for over 20 years. I wonder what he overheard in the back of her Lincoln Town car. But at least she didn't get into bed with him, unlike Democrat Eric Swalwell, who got caught up in a sexual relationship with Fang Fang. But did any of them get into trouble? Were they investigated, punished, embarrassed? Did they even lose a committee assignment? No. They got compromised our country's security, and we're still supposed to trust them. So it stands to reason that the Biden family thought they too would get away with it when they started striking up deals with Chinese businessmen tied to Chinese intelligence. And for some time, that was the case. The media was desperate for Joe to beat Trump, so they swept this whole story under the rug until Joe screwed it all up, like he always does, and lost his grip on the media, forcing even the New York Times to come around to verify Hunter's laptop. And eventually the story became too big to ignore. So now the press is playing catch up with Biden's family's ties to China. Reporters like Michael Isikoff, who was one of the first to promote the phony dossier, is writing that the Bidens are in real trouble, inking a piece today that says, quote, new Hunter Biden revelations raise counterintelligence questions. And now they're even acknowledging that this might be the kiss of death for Joe's political career. A former Clinton advisor saying this today, quote, if it is proven that President Biden was not only involved in, but profited from Hunter's business deals with Chinese state-owned firms, it would be a politically calamitous development for the president. But the Biden family is still whistling past the graveyard, claiming Hunter did everything above board, and that this is all somehow Trump's fault.
Hunter walked through hell. He didn't wake up and say, you know, Aunt Val, I think I'm going to be an addict. Trump and his right-wing followers have continued to do whatever they can to discredit the family and therefore bring Joe down.
Senator Chuck Grassley is a ranking Senate Judiciary member who's been investigating Joe and Hunter Biden since 2019. Do you have evidence, Senator, that would lead you to believe that Joe is potentially compromised by the Chinese?
I only have enough evidence that that's a legitimate question. I do not have evidence that goes as far as you'd like to have me say it go, or if I could say it, I would say it. First of all, thank you for having me. What we do know is that Hunter Biden had arrangements with Chinese business people, the CEFC Corporation. It's an energy company. Those Chinese business people had connections to the military and the Chinese Communist Party. And we know that they received $5 million one time. James received $1 million one time. And then we got all sorts of bank records saying on a regular order, $100,000 for many months to Hunter Biden, $65,000 to James Biden, and then it raises the question, does this compromise the national security of the United States? Do they have enough on them to get something out of a president of the United States? I can't answer that question, but a bigger factor is the fact that I opened this investigation August of 2019. For 2.5 years, the Democrats were saying I was spreading Russian disinformation. Then we find out that the Democrats and the media were playing the Russian disinformation campaign against us. And then now, as you said in your intro, they're finally admitting that Chuck Grassley was right all along. And I don't like people disparaging my reputation as a good investigator in the Senate of the United States, because I do a thorough job. I follow the facts where they take me. I follow the money where they take me. And it's just very concerning. If the Chinese pay this kind of money, it's reasonable for us to expect that they expect something.
I don't want to see your name dragged through the mud. I know you're a top shelf investigator. Not only has this checked out, but a lot of your other work has also checked out as well. Let's just follow the facts, as you said, because if the Chinese businessmen linked to Chinese spies are funneling millions and millions and millions of dollars into Biden family bank accounts that are shared jointly by Joe and his son, and that taxes aren't being paid, allegedly, and then Joe, in his official capacity, is taking soft stances with regard to China on trade, on COVID. Doesn't that lead most fair-minded people to believe that maybe that money is influencing the President of the United States' decisions, and that could affect our national security?
It could mean that. If I had enough evidence to say that you're 100% right, I would be willing to say that. But I think I have a reputation of just going by the facts and following the money. And right now, I can't go that far. But there are other people that have, and we ought to probably take that into consideration. But other people are doing that. Like, what is the grand jury doing in Delaware? Where does that lead you? And things of that nature. But I think we have to take a day at a time and just follow the facts where they take you.
All right, we're following the facts here on Primetime, and my gut is telling me that he could be compromised. But Senator Grassley will lead where the facts are. Thank you so much, Senator, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and if you want to help, go to GrassleyWorks.com.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.